to some more Hunter x Hunter. We are back! I cannot believe it. July 5th, we'll be reading through chapter 411. Hold on, it says streaming is not available at the moment. What do you mean? YouTube just told me that I can't stream right now. Well, let's try that again. Let's try that again. Welcome, we are back. YouTube told me I couldn't stream, and then I pressed the button again, and now we're live. So hello there, welcome to chapter 412 of Hunter x Hunter. I'm so... As you can tell, last page that we left off on 411 is the 14th Prince Wobble is not eligible for the succession battle. I cannot wait to see what is next. Obviously, the thumbnail, I got Lurkenberg hiding, but maybe, who knows? Will we get anything about Hulkenberg? I don't know, but I'm very excited to learn more. A little update for the notes. I've decided to update the Nen class. Now, typically, when I would update these notes, it would basically be after each volume. So what I'm doing for these 10 batches is that I'm going to update it for 411, and then I'm going to update the same notes for 412. So after tomorrow, basically by the end of today, there will no longer be a chapter 411 notes because we're just going to keep updating it until we get our volume 40 notes. Also, what I've decided to do is, because I do have a link down below where you can check out my notes for chapter 411, or well, just all my Hunter x Hunter notes since the succession arc. I'm going to, after the first 10 batches, I'm going to work on reorganizing my notes. Currently, my notes here are really just decipherable to me. Like, sure, there are some elements that people can look at and go like, oh, I could understand what you're trying to get at. But ultimately, I think I'm just going to remake it so that it's a little bit easier for people who are just looking at my notes to understand my thought process. So that's going to be the whole plan for that. Either way, that is basically what I want to do. But of course, let us begin reading chapter 412. Where are we at? Okay. It's time. Next page. 412. Oh, wait. I must reveal. There you go. I will now press the 412 button. Here we go. All right. 412 question. We have waves. What the heck is this? Why is this the first panel we see? Yes, sure. It's the waves hitting against, right? It's waves hitting against the black whale. But nah, it's gotta be a speedboat. There's gotta be someone else there. There has to be. Why are we just having a close-up of the side of the black whale and waves hitting against it? We already know that the waves hitting against it. There's gotta be something more. Okay, maybe. I don't know. But let's just keep reading on. All right, we cut back over to room 1014. 5 hours before special martial law was declared, which is 7? Did martial law get called at 12 p.m.? I think it's 12. Yeah, 12 p.m. No, 1 p.m. 1 p.m. So it is 9 o'clock right now. 8 o'clock, sorry. It's still 8 a.m. Okay. Oh my God. Okay, so we have a full page spread here. Let me just... Oh, wait, you guys can't... I can't even see myself. Hold on a second. There we go. So right now, Kurapika. Yes, we are going to be pronouncing his name correctly. I'm working on it. Okay, 14 Prince Wobble isn't participating in the succession battle. Everyone is freaking out. What is going on? Slaka going... Come on, man. Your lies are too stupid. All right. Okay, so this is what I was saying. I was thinking, like, I fully believe that Kurapika, there is no reason for Kurapika to lie. I am fully in the camp that what Kurapika is telling everyone is 100% factual. Now, I have seen other people talk about potentially he's lying or he's hiding a truth within a lie or hiding a lie within a truth. And I think because Sokka is calling it out, I think he is 100% talking about. I think Kurapika is a 100% telling the truth now. All right, Sokka continues. The lower ranked princes have a chance at survival if they can run out the clock, but Prince Wobble isn't in the battle to begin with? Okay, time for our lesson on Nen. Did you think you could get away with it if you just drowned us in information? Oh, he's like thinking to himself on that one. And then Kurapika's like, none of it's a lie. I have made deductions about the limitations, and yes, but I am confident in what I'm telling you now. We can't wait for verification for every detail. Why don't I give you some time? Let's have class begin at 10 a.m. today. Go and think things over. Come back here only if you want to take the class. Okay. About 48 hours before special... Oh, right. Oh my god. What a clever time skip. We're already at 10 a.m. We're all okay. Oh, this is great. This is good. This is good. Wait. 48 hours before... Oh, wait. Oh, we're going back in time now. Oh my god. Okay, we're going back in time. About 48 hours before special martial law was declared. Oh my god. Oh, dude. Okay. We are going through time. Okay. So we're on day 10. I can't believe he plotted to put his own child among the princes. Hunting for that prince is important. Okay, so this is Billy? Or is it Billy or just Bill? Here, let me go ahead and scroll down to the notes. It's just Bill. Okay. Bill's like, I can't believe he plotted to put his own child among the princes. Kurapika, hunting for the prince is important. But right now, we need to identify the targets of Beyond's curse, offspring, and break the curse aimed at Prince Wobble. All right, Oito, thinking. I swear I had... Why are you saying this? Oh my god, what is this? No one... No. You just walk into a room and it's like, yeah, I had nothing to do with this man. It's like, what? None of us were suspecting you. Obviously, the fan base was. But, like, in terms of the characters in the story, no one was suspecting you. And then she's like, yeah, I didn't have any relationship with Beyond. We're like, what? I'm sorry. Who? What? You can use your chain to prove my innocence. Okay. You're pretty confident. Kurapika's like, please don't worry. I don't feel the need to corroborate, let alone doubt you. Shimano, can you use this time to prepare her meal? Yes, sir. Okay. Shimono goes away, has like ... Oh, Shimono with the lore. I hate to bring this up, but... Oh my god, Shimono with the lore. My name is Shimanu, not Shimano. Huh? I said Shimano. New. No. New. No. Huh? No? Bill's like, I don't think Kurapika can pronounce or hear the difference between kakin vowel, triphthongs, and diphthongs. Oh, okay. No, nyong, nong? No. Togashi. Where is she? Togashi. You cannot. This is... I don't... So there was, right? So I have a theory about who the user of the silent majority is. Sakata, Hashito, Shimono, and Satobi. Now, Satobi is my number one choice. I'm wondering if Shimonu is the possessed one or Shimono is the normal one. Like, why would you drop this so randomly in this chapter? That is not, why do you just drop that information? We're never going to get through this chapter if you keep doing this, Togashi. You can't just be dropping shit like this. Oh my god. Okay. Let's just keep going. There are feminine tones and masculine tones unique to the Kakin language, and Shimono makes it masculine name. You say it right once in a while, so don't worry about it. Now that you told me about it, I can't not worry. And Bill's thinking about it, and then Kurapika's like, oh, I'm sorry I offended you, and Shimonu is like, it's all right. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, sorry. I apologize, chat. Do we have to go through every single person to see if potentially we got some wrong names? Are two people like twins? If there are like twins out there? It's impossible. Okay, I'm just gonna keep going. Bill's like, actually, there's something I've noticed. Can I talk to you? They're whispering, and then Kurapika's like, what? You mean? Your Majesty. What is it? What you said? Oh my god. Oh my god. It's happening. What is it? What you said about Beyond, you're right. It would be ideal to fully resolve the issue now. Would you allow me to use my chain so there's no doubt, so there's no room for doubt? Of course, that would make me feel better. Thank you. The chain comes out. I will first ask you meaningless questions to draw a baseline. Please answer yes or no. Is that all? Yes. You are a man. No. You are 2 years old. No. You are a woman. Yes. You are a mother. Yes. All right. Now please answer all questions in the affirmative. Oh my god. Oh my god. Wait, it is right there. Oito. Oh my god, dude. Hold on. You are flying right now. Okay, now please answer. Oh, I see again. So now he has determined the baseline. Now he's going to force lies so he can determine what the lies are and what the baselines are. You are flying right now. Yes. You are aboard a ship. Yeah, okay, I see it. Right. I forget how the chain works. We are seeing the chain work clearly, right? It's moving if it's lying. It's basically stopped if it's not. You are aboard a ship, yes, it's not moving. You are riding a tank, yes, it's moving. You have only one child, Prince Wobble. Yes. She's telling the truth. It's not moving. Bill looks at it. The prince sleeping there is the prince I held at the interview at the hotel 2 months ago. Cinema Togashi 10 out of 10, Togashi 10 out of 10, Togashi 10 out of 10, Togashi 10 out of 10. Oh my god. We zoom in, enhance. It looks like it's standing still. But I don't know. You see this face? You see this face? Yes, I'm telling. This is the face of someone telling the truth, right? It's a truthful face. It's the most truthful face I have ever seen. This is the most truthful face I have ever seen. Wobble is my baby. She's shaking and the thing isn't moving. right? Your Majesty, can you please answer yes to my question? Sweating. And she's like, how? How did you know was it Shimano? Bill noticed the differences in your pronunciation. Oh my god. The semi-voice feminine tone B and the voice masculine tone B formed by the teeth closed lips are comparatively clear. You were using the gender neutral tone B at first, and then you started to differentiate at some point. It made me wonder. I didn't think it was a big deal at first. It was such a subtle difference, and plenty of native speakers can't differentiate. But when we're talking about Shimano's name, I remembered that you started to use both tones after we set sail, right when Kurapika first used his chain abilities. You began swapping the difference between the daughter and a male child pronunciations of the name Wobble, so you could answer truthfully and avoid getting caught. Just in case I question you with my chain, when you would have say, Wobble, my daughter is my baby, whose child is he? And where is your daughter? Oh my god. This is so good. We are only 10 pages into this chapter already. Wow. He's my younger sister's son. My daughter is with her, and honestly, I don't know where she is. In the seed urn ritual, my daughter was the one who put her hand in the... After that, we switched at the hotel, and it was my sister's son who participated in the ceremony. So neither this baby nor my daughter is eligible. But the daughter has a spirit beast then. The daughter is still on the boat then, right? We don't know whose spirit beast this is. So this might be, well, no, this is still her daughter. So Wobble, the real Wobble, this is their spirit, their Nen beast? But then they would be on tier 1 if that was the case. So I'm guessing they're still on the boat though. If all of Kakin, billion people are on this boat, then she's got to still be on the boat. But then again, I switched it at the hotel. Okay, well, I'll keep reading. At first, not participating was treason, and therefore not an option because I thought that would get us killed. Okay, but why did your sister agree to allowing her son to be in danger, but not your daughter? Not participating was treason, and therefore not an option because I thought that would get us killed. My plan was to appear to participate and only admit the ineligibility when it came down to the wire and begged for forgiveness. You thought they would be kind on you? It was the only way to survive. Oh my god. I had to take that chance. There you go. And then Sakata and Bobby Mina are like, shh. What the hell? They just walk in on here. Oh my god. The queen isn't lying. We are not party to this. Everyone here, dude. Oh my god. This puts everyone so much in danger. This is even worse. Because not only do we have a child with a Nen beast out, which obviously it's very clear that Oito and her sister had no idea about these Nen beasts. So there's also a child on the ship with a Nen beast out. So that's a huge problem. On top of that, what? Oh my god. Oh my god. This is crazy. I'm going back to the list here. I'm going back here. There is a possibility out of all the princes, right? Long He was like, one of the princes is Beyond's child. Okay, so the Wobble that we have, that the male Wobble, is not a prince, but can still be a Beyond child. We saw the panel where they were emitting some crazy Nen aura. So it is very possible that male Wobble is still a Beyond child, but is not, since it is not a prince, it is not the person that Long He is looking for. Oh my god. Oh no, this is even more crazier than it could. Oh boy, dude, Togashi just, this is amazing. We cut away, we see the black whale setting sail. It is 10 a.m. The class is back. Everyone is here. Everyone is thinking about it. Oops, not full screen. Let's do double page spread, and then here, everyone is there, waiting. They're able to think about it. Kurapika is like, the only one who dropped out was Slaka, the second queen guard who wasn't taking the class anyways. The plan failed. If either one of Benjamin or Zhongli's personal guards had dropped out, I thought the announcement that Prince Wobble wasn't eligible would be more believable and would greatly decrease our risk of being targeted. It won't be that easy. Okay, so I was, right, so it is true. Kurapika is trying to be 100% honest in hopes that people will believe him. But of course, because this is a succession, they're like, you are just trying to protect your prince. And we won't have any of that. Oh my god. I look, it's not like we saw a spoiler, but you just saw Beyond at the bottom of that page. Why are you there? We're not ready for you. Okay, Kurapika. Oh my god, this guy is playing Raihan here. I need to get some water. Oh my god, this is a Raihan level. Oh my god, okay. Kurapika-han. Okay, my only plan is to develop their Nen abilities as per my original plan. Benjamin and Zhongli's personal guards confirmed that Prince Wobble was male, and we conveyed to them that the switch itself is true. Okay, right, because Bobby and Sakata were there. Just by getting off of First Prince's hit list, we've reduced the threat significantly. They're maintaining status quo even though they know the prince is not Wobble, because the real Wobble could still be hiding aboard the ship and really does have eligibility. No matter that, Benjamin's camp says, if things stay unchanged, the other princes won't believe it. But if the third and fifth princes feel I'm still useful, the alliance will continue. I still have the 10th Prince Kacho's letter too. I'll continue to show them the power of Nen abilities and prove that I still have important and useful information. At the same time, I must identify Beyond's biological children and their targets. I can't prove that the sister son here isn't the official heir using physical characteristics as long as the official heirs do not charge them with conspiracy and contempt. He won't be directly involved in the battle, and there should be little risk to his life for now. The problem is Wobble, the one who isn't here. If the curses Beyond placed on his children that activate upon death are powerful enough to kill, they'll take effect instantaneously. A defenseless baby has no way to resist. The only solution is to locate the cursed sacrifice before and exorcise them. The rest of the curses sacrifice Long He told us about. They were told who they are cursing or under what conditions the curses activate. Would it be the fastest to just ask Beyond the root of this all? That, yes, we could just talk to him. That is a possibility. We could just ask the guy. Man, dude, this is, oh, we're already here. Oh my God, we're already here. Hey, I've been waiting for you. Beyond, just chilling. Now, we don't see Kurapika's head. We just see someone in a suit. So it could be someone else. It could very well be someone else. Because Beyond was saying he's been waiting for someone. And this could be that person, or no, yeah, it's not Kurapika. It's someone else. It's someone else. It's someone else. Oh my God. Oh. What? Oh, it's Cleopatra. Okay, all right. Okay, so judicial person, right? Oh my God, where did I put you in here? Cleopatra, they're part of the judiciary system. I don't know where all my notes they were that I put them in, but let's keep going. Would you excuse us for a minute? No can do. Our job is to watch and nitpick. I know the Supreme Magistrate and the international political prisoner are both VIPs and all, but I can't let you make any secret pacts. Beyond with glasses, okay. Stay, I don't mind. I have multiple lawsuits pending, you see. I'm just going over the results. I'm the plaintiff in all of them, by the way. This freaking panel of just glasses, like, oh yeah, I'm the plaintiff in all of these. So goofy. The suit brought to us by V5 was successfully reversed. Oh, okay. The suit brought to us by V5 was successfully reversed via plea bargains. There won't be a retrial. The violations you committed to broadcast the New World Voyage declaration will not be prosecuted under international criminal law. Well, they all just got transferred to the clandestine contract with Kakin. That was expected. What I care about is the stuff I'm stewing for. There were about 1,000 cases, right? 1,047 to be exact. To cut to the chase, the Supreme Court deliberated on them collectively, and all have been dismissed. Oh my God, dude, just... Are you serious? All of them? Did you even look at them? Yes, I examined them all myself and made my decision. That's just shoddy work. Excuse me, how many months do you think I spent on them? So Kakin has no plan to guarantee even the bare minimum of human rights for the general populace? Respect for basic human rights is already stated in the Constitution. And I sued because it's not enforced. First of all, the definitions of human beings and citizens need to be clearly defined. The royal family and the general populace combined are the people of Kakin. Until they add that sentence, you will never gain the trust of the general public. Damn! We have Beyond Attorney at Law. What the hell is going on? Oh my God. That had adopted before the suit, and regardless of the succession results, King Natsume was already going to reconsider the wording of the Constitution, especially recognizing the equal of royals and the populace under the law. I brought the records of all judicial reviews and related amendments and copies of the clause revisions. It is impossible to expect past royal crimes to be persecuted immediately, but there will be a deterrent in the place for the future. Though I'm concerned that once the royals become part of the populace, things will be much worse for it from a security standpoint. We got... The guys are just moving in all the court records. We gotta through all of that. As if you can fully scrutinize that, just check if there are any suspicious objects in there. We got Beyond Attorney at Law. An executive decision would be quicker and more effective than a constitutional amendment. I am aware that the cherry picking features of both dictatorship and democracy is tricky. Pulls out a book, read it. Yeah, right, too fast. I'm just giving them to you randomly. I ain't taking requests. That's fine. I'm just killing time until we land anyways. I don't care as long as I can read printed text. Killing time? Cleopatra's like, wait, what do you mean killing time? Want the death penalty? I'm busy here! Only because the 9th Prince trial was postponed. Are you hearing this? I've known her since she was the small and was pooping in her pants. This is who it really is, Zodiacs. Don't care. Put him to death. I love that the confirmed spy for Beyond is just like, put him to death. I don't care. That is it. The end of chapter 412. Holy. Oh my God. What a freaking incredible chapter. Hello there, chat. Welcome to the stream. Let me catch up on chat here. Holy, this was absolutely crazy chapter. Man. Okay, we're talking about the pronunciation, learning the language. I love it. I also appreciate that while we learned the language, that was mostly a setup for Bill to recognize what's happening and not for us to wait another chapter for us to get that reveal of like, can we look through all the characters and see which one might have the incorrect name or like incorrect pronunciation. So I like that. That explanation helped Bill make the connection for the story to continue. I love it. By the way, Cruz says, by the way, in Japanese, it was clear, the pronunciation thing. Oh, dude, that is, man. That's awesome. That is perfect. Oh man. Yeah, I think that is unfortunate because English has such like rigid gender terms. So like you can't get away with genderless or just slight tweaks to pronunciations or spellings to like have that kind of clever wordplay. But that is so cool that the pronunciation thing was so prominent in the Japanese text. Very, very cool. Bone says, Sam, before you go further, compare the wobble in chapter 349 before boarding the ship. Ooh, okay. Okay, let's take a look. I will be going through the chat in chronological order. So just as a heads up, if I'm ignoring your message, I've scrolled back up to the very top of the chat since the beginning of the stream, so that's why it might take a while. Okay, 349. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. All right. So our first glimpse of Wobble. And this was at the hotel? Yeah, this was at the hotel. Okay. And then the baby in this chapter after boarding the ship, the clues were there. It's funny because this was the picture I used for my notes. So I've always just been looking at the real Wobble. Okay, let's go back to the chapter. Actually, do they even show us a close-up of Wobble? Wait, no, actually the previous chapter shows us a close-up of Wobble. Okay, hold on. I think I'm just like... The hair color? No, I think it's different. I think the shading is a bit different. But the eyelash... Well, no, because this is... What the heck? I don't... They're slight differences. But like, I don't... Man, it is so... I don't know if I would have clocked that as like, is it just the changes in art styles from the chapters progressively? Because like characters do look different. Like Beyond looks, he is less bulky, but then again, well, it's only been a couple of days though, so it's not like he would get smaller on the boat. But it is an interesting thing. Like Togashi has been seeding this stuff in for a while. Yeah, Real Wapol has it. There is a theory that this is Beyond's child. So we have, yeah, it, because we do have that page where it's like this could be Beyond's child, and then also and then the other child's got the Nen Beast to happen about. The seed urn ceremony happened during the departure of the Black Whale. Maybe the ability Chrollo was looking for. Oh my god. Okay. Myokyo says maybe the ability Chrollo was looking for is wobbles. What if? What if? That is crazy. Oh my god. Chris, oh, that'd be what a way to get Chrollo and Kurapika to meet each other. That would be great. Chris says it is just likely that female Wapol is on the ship. We don't really know where female Wapol is. Yeah, I think that is my assumption, that female Wapol is on the ship, because it wouldn't make sense. Well, actually, yeah. First off, as Mokyo put it, the seed urn ceremony took place during the departure of the Black Whale, and it was the Real Wapol who participated in the seed urn ceremony. And then also, if you're moving 1 billion people from Kakin into the Black Whale, then I gotta figure that her sister is aboard. Where though? That is a much scarier thought. Where she would be. Tier 2 maybe? Because right now, Chrollo is on tier 3. So maybe she's tier 2. Let's see here. Oh wait, Bone says the Erd ceremony happened a month ago before the departure of the ship. Even Oito doesn't know where the Real Wapol is. She just knows that the baby is with her sister. Okay, so if this is true, let's just take the assumption that the Erd ceremony took place a month before departure. I still want to believe that the Real Wapol is aboard the ship. Because the idea is that all of Kakin is moving to this new continent. It doesn't really, I don't think Oito and her sister knew about the Nen Beast, but they knew about the succession. That's why she was worried for, well, no. She only knew after participating in the seed ceremony. Huh. I don't, it would be, I think for the sake of, like, this is meta reasons, but for the sake of like a story, it wouldn't be interesting if the Real Wapol was like not on the ship, because like they have the threat of having a Nen Beast. They have the threat of all the princes wanting to find her. Like, it wouldn't make sense like, oh, she's not on the boat, don't worry about it. So I think for the sake of intensity in terms of the story, the Real Wapol has to be on the ship. Bone says Oito is saying that Real Wapol is probably, oh, okay. So it looks like the chat is pretty thinking about like Wapol is just not on the ship at all, and the beast didn't hatch. Okay, so both baby aren't eligible for the Slaughter Fest. Okay, I think I understand where we're coming from. It is Oito who believes that the Real Wapol isn't on the ship, but we don't know for sure. It is basically an unconfirmed situation what she believes her sister did not get aboard the ship. Bone says, yeah, the jellyfish just could be a subordinate of someone other than the prince's guardian nem beasts. That's the difficult thing, right? Because the jellyfish specifically was shown in the panel with all the other prince's nem beasts. And all of the beasts that we see are all connected to every prince besides the jellyfish. That's the only reason why I'm suspicious of that jellyfish. Alexander says, while Oito may genuinely believe her wobble is no longer on the ship, I suspect someone else managed to secure her and get her on the ship. Okay, yes, I think that is a safe assumption, at least for me. Oito believes her baby is not on the ship, but she's on the ship. Her child is on the ship somewhere. Yoku says, yeah, my bad. Okay, checked. Okay, so yeah, we got confirmation. Cedern took place a month ago. Momose had a huge teddy bear, but also small spider-like bears with that got a minute. Yes, good call. It could very well be possible that the jellyfish could be connected to some other elements, much like Momose having the you got a minute guy, and then also the little spiders with the little eyes. Well, no, that's Tyson. Tyson's this one. Actually, yeah, this is Tyson's one. This was the spider guy I was thinking about, even though those are geckos. But it could be, the jellyfish could be connected to someone else. One of the other prince's additional nem beast abilities. I get you. Okay. Still going through chat. I apologize, we're almost there. I don't trust Oito. Okay, Alexander says, I don't trust Oito anymore. Her sister is probably a sister-in-law, Benjamin's wife, which would mean there's only 2 babies in the ship, not 3. Alexander, we have a baby who has, we have a child who does not have a name. This could be Benjamin's kid. All the babies would connect. Every baby in the story now has, we were wondering who this Benjamin's child is. And now we know that there is an additional child. Oh my God. So we might have Benjamin's kid. And then Benjamin might, or I guess I should say, what's the child's name? Unma might have Oito's child right here. Oh my God. And it's already been established in this that mom swapping, it happened, Hulkenberg. So this actually might be Queen Oito's child, and then we have Benjamin's child. That at the same time, and Benjamin would understand. He would absolutely. Well, we could believe that Baba Mina is like, yeah, this is what he said is true. I believe him. But Benjamin could also just know, like, yeah, we need to go get my child. Interesting. But then this would put the baby at risk. This would 100% put the baby at risk if it was under Benjamin's. It's tough, but I do like this idea that Benjamin's wife. I love this. Okay. Cruz says maybe the jelly is part of Luz's beasts. That's how he traps, manipulates victims. Good call. Chris says, okay, so more people are talking about the when the Cedern ceremony took place. Alexander says, anyone ever noticed that Beyond's nose is very similar to Unma's, Benjamin, and Hulkenberg's? Okay. So, wide nose. Wide nose. Can't wait, hold on a second. Benjamin's child? Okay, we don't have a front view. I'm looking at the chapter, the most, I don't think we have like a front view of of a mysterious baby here. You can't really tell if that's like a wide nose. I like your thinking. I like your thinking. I like your thing with Benjamin being a Beyond child. That would be wild. Or Unma being the imagine if one of the wives is the Beyond child. Unma is the Beyond child, which therefore everyone is connected to Beyond. Okay, we're going back to go back to notes here, and we'll continue reading chat. Yeah, the translation of Oito is just saying that, okay, was for the departure. Okay. The translation Oito is saying is that the ceremony was for the departure fest, not the urn ceremony. Okay. So when she referred, let's go back to that part of the chapter. I think that's where I was also a bit confused. So when she is saying, let's see here, bum. Okay. Okay. After that, we switched at the hotel, and it was my sister's son who participated in the ceremony. So, if I'm understanding this correctly, you're saying that she's referring to the dinner and not, because there was like a hotel celebration to celebrate the succession arc beginning, right? This is where all the princes were meeting together and not necessarily the seed urn. But then by that would mean that they are on the ship, because that whole ceremony took place on the ship. Man, I'm gonna have to be going back through all. Now I have to reread the succession arc to see every single moment of Wopple's face, to see any kind of little tiny details or changes. Oh my goodness. The Unma Netero is a cursed ship. Oh, yeah. I agree. We're just here for the Yap session. Nothing useful now. Maybe in the future. Honestly, these are the kind of chapters I really love, where it's just like Togashi is just throwing a wrench in things and just making things crazy or wild, and I love it. I love it. Beyond Alexander says Beyond is trying to get laws changed so that his kids will be eligible like any other royal. Right. Yeah, I totally forgot about that part. He wants. So by the end of the succession arc, if he gets one of the laws passed, they would be technically legally eligible, and he won't have to play the game of like, oh yeah, that was the child of the king. Let me pull up the notes again. Bone says, we ain't sure because we currently suspect that one of the princes is already a Beyond child. Right. But that's also the thing where like now the Wobble that is within the care of Oito is not a prince, so therefore it could still be a Beyond child. Insanity. Alexander says, consider that Beyond has multiple children who are prince as well. That is a possibility as well. Avi says definitely a Beyond baby. Bone says, oh yeah, we went through the chapter 349. Majestic says the real Wobble is in the ship and the king knows about it. Remember, he won his succession battle, so he is powerful Nen user. He could find out about the swap by simply using his N in the hotel. That is a fantastic point. Yeah. Because he would definitely want to check to make sure they're all on the boat. Yeah. And also at the same time, I like this. Yeah. There would be so much additional danger for the child if it was outside the boat. I would agree. I would agree that something bad, he would not be as chill as he is right now if it weren't for the baby being on the actual boat. Well, I guess he doesn't need to keep checking, right? Like, I imagine he checked during the dinner ceremony, but then why would they do the swap then? I have to go back through, but it would make sense. It's just that if his N is so powerful, I don't think he would be constantly checking. So there must have been a moment on the ship where he would have done a check, an N check. Then again, he would have noticed all the, I don't know. That's very difficult, but I do agree that the real Wobble is on the ship, and there are a lot of reasons why that would be. The hair color and textures are different hair. Yeah, this is the one where I'm like, I need to go back through and look at every single picture of Wobble to just confirm, because also sometimes Togashi might not be consistent. And I think the clever play isn't the hair color, but the pronunciation. And so it'd be really weird for him to like indicate like, actually, they have completely separate hair and no one noticed it. Bone, for better comparison, in page 350, when Kurapika is holding real Wobble, and in the current chapter where the fake Wobble is in the crib. Ooh, okay, let's take a look. Let's take a look at this. 350. Okay, last of volume 30. I don't know. No, I don't think so. The only reason, but then why would... It's difficult. Because I think in this moment, right, it's Kurapika holding the baby closely, looking at them, and I don't think Kurapika would make a visual mistake. Right? This chapter already established that Kurapika won't be able to recognize different pronunciations, but he would definitely recognize visual changes, like slight differences in characters. So I think it's just a way Togashi is drawing rather than like indications that visually they look the same. Because I don't know if Kurapika has been established to like not be able to distinguish facial expressions or distinguish character movements, and he's a very perceptive person is what I'm trying to say, and I don't think he would look at Wobble and going, did she change her hair? No, it's fine, whatever. I do think it maybe it's just a difference in terms of Togashi drawing characters. AB says, I think Camilla will be the first victim to Beyond Children's curse due to the irony as her guards to cursed people. That would be sick. I would love to see that. Avi says, don't forget about the baby in Unma's room. It is unconfirmed to be Benjamin's. Good point. Benjamin has only mentioned that he has a child. And we know that there is a crib in Unma's room, but there has not been a direct connection. Did I make that confirmation, or did I leave it as a theory? I want to make sure. Okay. You are correct. I'm going to switch this over to theory. Because yes, it is technically, we don't know if that is actually his child. All we really know is that it is a child that Unma has in her room, and Benjamin has mentioned that he has a child. So that's a good point. Good point. Mokyo Dai, it says, and if the real Wobble is in the ship, that makes it so dangerous. Remember that Morena's level up thing. 50 points if they kill a prince. Oh, and that's determined by blood. Like, it's not like, would they know? Yeah, now I'm like curious how her level up thing works. Well, that's why I got notes. Okay, upon raid, Okay. It must be through some sort of blood, not through like user knowledge. If you kill a prince and you don't know it's a prince, you still get 50 points, is how I'm thinking about it. But maybe that's not the case. What ability is more useful in this arc, Camilla's or Ceri's? Well, I feel like Ciri, he's still growing. Man is still growing. We have he has right now no limit. I think Camilla, we know Camilla. Camilla has a limit. I don't think we know the end of Ciri yet. So I think Ceri's ability is much higher. Alexander says, it isn't that Unma is beyond child, it's that Benjamin is his child via Unma making his illegitimate child a beyond grandbaby. Yes, good point. Melchior says, I'm not even sure how that ability works. Do they need to know it's a prince, or they kill? Yeah, that's the interesting thing. Yeah, about Morena's stuff is like, how do they know? Or is it that, or is that Morena just knows? Then again, Morena is the daughter of Hyogoro. So it is possible that she has some crazy Nen ability that's like, hey, if the prince has a DNA that matches similar to mine, that confirms that they are a prince, and therefore you'll get 50 points. Yeah, I'm not sure how all that stuff works. It's science. Nen science, that's all I'll say. Cruz says, take in account, Pika only sees her once a month. They see again, taking account it's his cousin as well. Oh. AB says, what if in a panel in the lower tiers, Togashi drew a woman with the baby and we took... Yeah, everyone's gonna have to be rereading the Succession arc just to see any babies in there. Majestic says the king probably could maintain his N at all times. Probably don't you think his guardian spirit beast would give him a reward for winning the Succession battle? Maybe that was his reward. The only thing with... Yeah, it is possible his N is always maintained. The only issue I have is, like, I think back to... Maybe I'm wrong in this. But, what's his name? Oh yeah, Nobunaga. I think back to Nobunaga using his N, and he could pinpoint where like Killua and Gon were moving, if I wasn't mistaken. So I'm thinking if the king is as powerful as he is and is using N at all times, I would think that he would know that a prince is not on tier 1. So that's the only thing I'm worried about. Which either means that he's like, oh, we could just that. Well, then again, it's all part of the game, right? It's all a part of the game. If the princes can't tell that one of the princes left tier 1, that's not his deal. To him, it's still part of the game. So actually, that could still be a viable issue. Like for him, it doesn't matter. He just cares about the succession succeeding. So if a prince just happens to not be in tier 1, it's like, it's not his fault. It's the prince has got to deal with that. So actually, now that I think about it, it could very well be plausible that he has N at all times and it just doesn't matter to him, because as long as they're not leaving the ship, that's okay. Alexander says they wouldn't know because paternity DNA tests are not allowed to be done on the royals. Good point. Majestic also explains why he is so chill at all times. Cruz says, oh yeah, I'm curious about Natsubi's ability. Yeah, especially after last chapter, talking about the kind of getting the full confirmation of the amount of everything to put on a singular person, the amount this ritual needs to go through. It is a tremendous amount of power. It could very okay. Bone says it could very well be the difference between Woburu and Woburo, but I'm going to nitpick even the baby drawings because we get this far. To be honest, I don't blame you. I do not blame you. That's what Togashi is so good at. It's her Nen ability, so she puts stipulations on its functions and bounds, talking about Mirena's blood ability. Our ability to determine what is a prince, who are Nen users and who are just civilians. Alexander says, you know that I think about it. Beyond went on the last expedition 50 years ago. He could be Unma's dad. Beyond having a daughter as a queen would make all of his kids eligible. yeah, there's anything could happen, honestly. AB says the fact that Oito's sister was willing to send her own son to his death is really weird. Yeah, that is, I think, the strangest part about it is like, I think her reasoning, although it's not smart at all, I think her reasoning makes sense. Oito's reasoning makes sense, which is that she thought that because like obviously she didn't know the Nen ramifications. She just thought that this was just a part of who's going to be king next. And so she's like, oh, if my son is ineligible, if my son is ineligible, then so neither this baby nor my daughter. So, but the seed urn is what is the succession. That is what the seed urn is, the point for the Tree of Kakin. That is what you need to do. That is a part of the Nen limitation. But I guess to her, she was like, well, I could just say I'm sorry and then they won't be eligible. So I think her reasoning is like, because she didn't know about Nen, because she didn't know about all these things, I guess it kind of makes sense. I think it kind of makes sense for why. But at the same time, it's like but your sister was okay with putting her son in danger. So I'm like, either they didn't fully know the ramifications, or Oito is being really shitty to her sister and was like, yeah, it'll be fine. Yeah, we'll just trade babies. So we'll learn more. Lost my place in chat. Sorry, let me catch up here. Okay, Mokyo says, my problem is that Pika made the announcement that it isn't the real Wobble. It's impossible that the news doesn't slip into the lower tiers, and made assumptions that the real prince is on the ship somewhere. I do agree. It is, yeah, I fully agree, but at the same time, that's what, like, Kurapika said in the last chapter. He needs the people to go crazy. He wants to start riots. What was his wording specifically? Trying to see what his wording was specifically. But he does mention that he wants there to be chaos on the ship. But I can't find it. So I think it is okay. Oh, wait, here it is. Okay. He didn't die of illness. He must have been assassinated. And right before the trial with Benjamin, it's obvious, but there won't be any proof. I'm not keen on it, but I must consider using the truth of his death as a starting point to instigate the general public into chaos. So I think this still fully fits within, like, this will help. I think you are right. He wants this to go to the lower tiers to cause issues. This is still part of his plan. Then again, he says this without, well, no, he said this already knowing about the true Wobble. Oh, that's tough. Because, right, that took place 2 days before this chapter. Bone says, by the way, if Natsume had his N activated, there are many Nen users on tier 1. Many will notice. Even Furyalkov asked Bobby why he closed his N when he was warming up to Oito's cause. That one's a tough one. Because, yeah, Natsubi, if it is to be believed, Natsubi is either A, on a different level than every other Nen user, right? Because we already have indications that there are Nen users aboard the ship that didn't know other Nen users were using Nen. So, like, we clearly have levels, and Natsubi just might be on such a higher level that no one is noticing it. And then also B, if Natsubi had always had his N activated, well, I guess you would have noticed entering the ship or not, but I do think that if Natsubi had his N activated, he is one, if not the most powerful person on this ship, aside from maybe Sari. So people just don't notice his Nen at that level. Alexander says, which means Beyond's goal is just to increase his chances of having a kid that wins the ritual. So he doesn't just have secret kids among the guards and princes, but also a queen. Oh, man, you're convincing me. I know I made that joke, but you are convincing me that, yes, to increase his chances, it would be much smarter for him to have a queen as one of his children. Oh my god. Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm starting to believe. The laws are probably part of the ritual. It would all, oh my god. It would cover so much though. What if? Just wait a minute. Hold on a second. I think people are, okay, I'm sorry. We're going to crack theory time. I think maybe Unma is a Beyond child. Because there have been debates on whether Sari or Benjamin are Beyond children. And technically, if Unma is a Beyond child, then that would absolutely make the case for these two. The other person who has been very prolific and very strong in their abilities is Hulkenberg, also another Unma child. I don't. But then again, and we don't know how they were as children, so we don't know if they were. But then they would also have to have the curse. Well, no, I guess it would just be, technically, it would just be Unma that would have the curse, not the grandchildren. I don't know. Very, very interesting though. I do like I do like that idea though. I do like that idea. Okay, almost caught up to chat. We're almost there. I apologize, chat. We're getting through it. Uh-oh, I just lost where I was at. Ba-bum. Oh yeah. Myokyo says it will cause a riot, especially with the Morena Circle, to look for the baby in lower tiers. Just my theory, though. No, I 100% agree. And since it is part of Kurapika's plan, that would make sense. All right, Kurapika. I am trying to pronounce all the characters correctly, because we got something happening in a couple of weeks from now. That's going to be very exciting that I could share with you all at some point. So I'm trying to pronounce these characters correctly. Majestic says, right, he clearly says that the sole survivor is the official heir to the throne. How you do that depends on you, so it's definitely not his concern. Right, okay. Yeah, I was trying to justify why, I believe this question was in response to, I was trying to justify why his N might not be active at all times if Natsubi is using N. But then again, the realization is that Natsubi doesn't care about how the game is played. He just cares about the sole survivor. That is his only goal. So if a prince leaves tier 1 and they hide in tier 4, congrats, you won. That cube, oh my god. Okay, Colbert says, Hisoka is guarding Wobble, of course. Oito is preferring to recruit guards. Oito is super cunning. Oh my god. Yeah, why else is Ahsoka on tier 1? Why else? Well, tier 1 is for royals as well. It's not just for princes. Yeah, it's tier 1 is where is it? Where do I have the description for it? Oh, I don't have the tier descriptions, but I believe the tiers 1 and 2, tier 1 is for princes and tier 2 is for like royal guards and nobles and all that stuff. So why is Ahsoka up there? That's a good call. Oh man, what if? Chris says you should check out chapter 349 about what the butler of Not to Be Told Sari, who is seen as eligible. Oh. No, I said Sari, not Siri. Okay. 349. We were just on that chapter, but we did not read that part. Oh no, we didn't. Okay, here we go. Okay, let me see here. Let me show you all. This is. Now, please insert your hand into the center of the urn. And then Sari's like, it's not going to bite me, is it? Don't worry. Hand into the urn. Cute little fairy feeds him something. Is that it? Okay, what kind of ceremony? The Seedurn ceremony, part of Kaking royal family tradition. It is believed that you will be granted a special power by proving your inheritance to the urn with blood and focusing on your desire for the crown. According to ancient manuscripts, the first king conjured this urn inspired by worm toxin. This succession contest may well be the historically correct use of this urn. With the ability of the urn, the children, unaware, will raise a spirit beast that will protect them. Each spirit beast takes after its vessel. A fragile, weak vessel cannot be king. A Nen beast created at the time of death by a powerful desire for the perpetuation of one's descendants, possesses someone closely related to the dead, or feeds on his aura, metamorphoses into form and ability, influenced by his disposition. So wait a minute. Talking about, so it is, well, I guess this doesn't change much, right? Because Oito already said that her real daughter participated in the Seedurn ceremony. And so therefore the urn was like, yeah, you are actual of royal blood. You are now confirmed to, does the baby have a desire for the crown? I don't know. But I think it is, but Oito does clearly mention that her daughter did participate. So, then again, the spirit beast that will protect them. So it is also safe to know that the real Wobble is perfectly safe. Yeah, Alexander says Oito is smarter than we think. Absolutely. Bone says, who knew Oito was the villain all along for basically sacrificing a baby to save her own? It's true. She definitely isn't the demure she appears to be. Yeah, absolutely not. Trevor says, missed the stream. I'll rewatch your VOD. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Oh, absolutely. Loved it. Also mentioned it yesterday, but Cleopatra isn't on your list, I don't think. Yeah, I don't know why I vividly remember Cleopatra, but yeah, they are not on the list. I'm surprised I even remembered Cleopatra's name. Because it's like, why do I remember your name even though you're not on my list of notes? But I guess we'll have to add the Supreme Magistrate up here. Mokyo says, in Oito's defense, she thought if she was forced to participate in the succession with an illegible child and confessed about it, it would rule her out as a disqualification. Yeah, no, yeah, I do agree that I would say very foolishly, because it doesn't seem like Kakin is very keen on just simple, oh, yeah, you disqualified, no problem. It was just a minor mistake, don't worry about it, right? When I feel like the repercussions of just that is death. Like, I don't know what kind of punishment she thought she would get. That's the only issue I have. I feel like that is such a puts you on the death row. That sort of crime. They even mentioned it was like treason. So I'm like, what? Did you just think that they were just going to be, it's all good. It's all good, girl. Damn. It's like, what do you mean? You're dying. Bone says, Cleopatra is also a very likely beyond child potential. That would be crazy. Oh my God. Alexander says, in the last chapter, Karapika mentions getting Terror Sandwich to sue him in a lawsuit to get close to him. And then the very next chapter, we get beyond having over 1,000 lawsuits. Man, that is possible. That is, oh my God. Oh, people are saying it's the first page of 349. Okay, here we go. I apologize. So there was a question before about going to chapter 349 to learn about who is seen as eligible according to Natsubi. And this is it. The scramble for the throne will be limited to only the children of legal wives of King Natsubi Hui Kyoro, who board the Black Whale and take part in the departure ceremony. I'm terribly sorry, but I cannot tell you until the ceremony. The contest will be canceled if a candidate dies before the ceremony. The contest will officially begin the moment the Black Whale finishes sounding its departure horn. Once it begins, the right of succession will not be questioned no matter what measures you take to outlast the others. This has completely like this has a, like, at first it's like, okay, everyone's going to be boarding the Black Whale, but now we have suspicions that the Real Wobble might not be aboard. Oh, maybe it is. Okay, I've been thinking that Real Wobble is aboard, but like specifically who boards the Black Whale? And this is told, like, clearly, what's his name? Nugyu, right? I think it's Nugyu. Yeah, Nugyu specifically is telling this to Sari, but obviously he is telling this to every single person. So for Oito, she's like, oh, yo sis, you mind taking my child and not boarding the Black Whale? Okay, actually, I was way in on the Real Wobble being on the Black Whale, but chat, this page, I think is, I'm going to throw that. I don't know. I'm going to believe that is not the case. Cause yeah, Queen Oito specifically says her child took place in the seed ceremony. So obviously she knows all the rules of who is a candidate. And then she made the decision to swap the child and not have her child board the Black Whale and take part in the ceremony, in the departure ceremony. Yeah. I'm with, okay. You made me a believer. I don't think Real Wobble's on the ship. It would make no sense. So actually, there is the one case. So someone in chat brought up that there is a possibility that her sister wasn't supposed to be on the ship, but someone managed to find her and force her on the ship or get her on the ship at some point. So there is still that possibility, but it does seem to indicate that the original intention was for Real Wobble not to board the ship. I am a believer now. Thank you, chat, for clarifying and showing that off, because I would have continued to believe that Real Wobble may have still been on the ship. Bone says, off topic, what is the worm toxin which inspired this urn ceremony, Nenbeast? Did the early king of Kakin also made it to the Dark Continent and took inspiration from an OPS class beast? I imagine so. That the early king of Kakin has gone to the Dark Continent. I would not be surprised about that. Because the power of this, like, the whole ceremony is one of the most powerful Nen that we have ever seen. The amount of restrictions, the understanding of how everything should perform, the rituals, all of this to happen, it really feels like you have to either be big brain or you've gone to the Dark Continent and seen much stronger things out there. And so yeah, maybe you are right. The worm toxin took inspiration from an S-class beast. Bone says, I'm not kidding. In the last page of the current chapter, Beyond talks to the Zodiacs about him seeing Cleopatra since he was a child, growing up and complaining like he was actually invested in that said child. Yeah. That was strange. That was strange that he does talk about Cleopatra being raised. Where is this one? That is, yeah. That is true. I'm trying to find the page. Which one is it? There's so much text here. The last page of the current chapter. There's just so much. Okay. Man, it's just... I don't even know how to read anymore. I lost the ability to read. I can't even find it anymore. It's gone into the ether. Cruz says, but even not in the ship, Real Wobble is still in danger from Beyond's cursed child. Yeah, that's the thing, right? That's the thing. Anything outside the ship will not be resolved. There's no point. So it's like... It would... Yeah. Yeah, anything... Yeah, it's just difficult, because, like, Cruz says, but even not in the ship, Real Wobble is still in danger for Beyond's cursed child. Yeah. And that's one of the things about it, though. Is like, if you're outside the ship, right now you do not exist in the story. So it'd be weird to cut to outside the ship unless it's a flashback. So it's like, if you need to be a prominent, if we need to talk about you, you have to be on the ship. Unless we're doing like, what chapter was it? There was a random chapter that we just got to see Gon doing homework. Besides that, besides that one, just catching up on chat. When I said somebody else may have secured Wobble on the ship, I said that knowing the rule. The idea was that someone caught on to Oito. Oh. Someone caught on to Oito. Not just like... Whoa. It is possible. The amount of guards that are on this ship, the amount of Nen abilities intact. Yeah. Okay, I see what you mean now. It wasn't just that they saw a lady that looks like she's from Kakin and pushed her on the board. You're saying that, like, someone's like, Oito is up to no good. We're bringing the baby aboard anyway. We know your little game. I understand much better now. Majestic says, What if the current king also went to the Dark Continent in his younger days? That is now a big possibility. I mean, yes, that could very well be possible. If Beyond's been to the Dark Continent, it could very well be that him and Natsubi are like just best bros. Kinda. But I personally think Oito is still lying. Her baby is still on the ship. I really do think she's got high IQ on Kurapika's level. Yeah, she... Actually, yeah. No, I 100% agree. She has to have super high IQ on Kurapika's level, because as soon as she saw Kurapika's chain ability, she then switched the pronunciation to make sure that she is consistently inconsistent so that you can't tell if she's lying or not. That is not someone who you cannot just walk into that idea. So I do agree. I think you are right. Alexander, Oito is still lying, and she is very, very much still hiding stuff from us. Okay. Mokyo, hopefully the ability Chrollo was looking for is Wobble. At least his Skill Hunter ability forces him to keep Wobble alive. Oh my god. So someone earlier mentioned that, actually it might have just been Yumo, that Chrollo's ability is to find Wobble. And I was like, that's a cool idea. I didn't even think about Chrollo stealing the baby's ability and then keeping the baby alive. That is on another level. That is on another level. And then also Bone brings up that it was the very last bubble about Beyond talking about Cleopatra growing up. Very, very cool. Chris, we got some info. Chris says, in real life, Worm Toxin is a mystic story about putting venomous insects in an urn, and the last surviving insect believed to have absorbed the venoms and becomes the most poisonous one. Okay, so that the sole survivor. Golado says, in chapter 368, Oito called Wobble my son, Musuko, but all the translators thought it was a mistake and corrected it to my daughter, or they just deleted it. Wow. Yeah, because someone also earlier mentioned that in Japanese, it was very clear that the differences between the male and female pronouns, or not pronouns, but the male and female like wording were different. And then in English translation, it was just all changed to daughter. It was all just like trying to be consistent. Honestly, it's difficult, right? Because I don't blame the translators, because obviously Japanese is how Togashi is writing it. So there's no one else, like the editors don't need to make changes. However, when you're the English translator, you're like, I need to not only read this in Japanese, but just understand what the author is trying to do. So they're doing their own theory crafting. And so for them, they're like, well, didn't Togashi establish that this was a daughter? So we should just write this all as daughter. I don't know. Maybe he just made a simple mistake. It is very tough. I don't blame them, because I can't imagine. I imagine even like the scanlations maybe also probably have made the same mistake as well, of just like trying to correct it. Because it's like, to them, it's like, that was never obvious, because obviously Togashi does not want to hint at that to anyone. Same thing happens in like One Piece as well, where you don't know what Oda is thinking, and so the translators will translate it one way, and it's like, actually, it's later revealed to be this other way. Majestic, also, all of this restrictions and rules of the succession contest. Can you imagine how powerful of an end user you have to be to pull it off? So definitely the king has to be one of the strongest. Absolutely. And I imagine, do we know how many kids, like how many siblings Hyo had? Because now I'm thinking about like, if Hugh had like how many, depending on how many siblings he had, that probably also determined the strength of the Nen. And right now he has, there's the sole survivor, the Tree of Kakin, I'm pulling it back up, is going to be 13 Nen users plus the king himself funneled into the sole survivor. So it's going to be even more powerful of an end user. So it's just, we're just amplifying the level of whoever is going to be the sole survivor. I imagine it's not going to succeed, because like, how do we stop them? Then again, right? That was the same issue with Meruem. And we did not stop Meruem via combat. He was stopped via love. So we'll see. Oh, Anish says, but don't Chrollo has to ask questions about the ability to steal it in the first place. Yeah, that's, forgot about that part. Yeah. He yeah. So I gotta steal your ability, baby. Gaga goo goo. That works for me. I got it in my book. Well, is it the actual, like, how does it work? Maybe it's just the intention. Maybe the baby is trying to convey the message through Goo Goo Gaga, and maybe that's how he gets the ability. But that is a very good question. Yeah. Bone says that would be a very sick turn of events to make Kurapika and Chrollo allies, and that is in reference to Chrollo taking the baby's abilities. And then they're talking about Kodoku in terms of the name of a son, and then Kodoko for daughter is what I'm assuming is the differences. Mokyo says this is basically a hostage Chrollo holding onto the baby, holding onto Wobble with the troops' protection. That connection to Kurapika would be so mind-blowing. I would love that. Bone says, more so, I'd connect two very distinct plots together from another one. Just like how Nobunaga is hunting Morena right now, we have 2 points joining these separate stories. You guys are cooking. I love this. Bone says 2 illegitimate siblings that we know of are alive and are mafia bosses. Man. Incredible chapter. Thank you everyone for hanging out in the chat as we just broke down this chapter. Absolutely. Just look, not much happened, but so much actually did. Because not only did we actually finally get confirmation about what is going on, but there was a baby swap, which is still highly dangerous for the real Wobble. We know that Benjamin and Zhongli now know the truth and are still okay with continuing. We know that Sokka is no longer participating in the class, which is bad for us. We don't know how the other families feel, so we don't know how the other princes feel about that. And then beyond attorney at law was not expecting this, but I freaking love it. So we might be getting a lot of like lawyer political stuff with Beyond just breaking things down. That is crazy. I love it. Majestic says, yeah, also that may be the reason they can't find out about his end, because he is so strong that the aura might ambitious for lower Nen users. Agreed. Even I think for Furyakov and Bobby, I think it is way more powerful than even that. I think it's even why when I think it's even why when Hulkenberg had the gun up to his father's head, Natsubi was not even worried a single bit, because Hulkenberg is not even close to his father's level. Not even. There's no worry for him. He is a Nen user so powerful that he has no worry in the world about anything. I feel like too often we have always seen like kings or some sort of person in high power where there's slight worries, there's slight things that they're worried about. But the way Togashi writes Hyogyo-Ro, not even concerned about what's happening. I think the only thing he's concerned about is people leaving the Black Whale, but that's why he's got the shield over it to prevent you from leaving. Togashi is at chapter 430 already. I think we're getting fed for at least 2 months. Chris says 422 completed and 431 in draft. Okay, don't forget Kurapika's attorney at law against Terry. Okay, that's true. Oh my god. Have says, tangent, but we have 100% established Benjamin is one who got poisoned. All he said in translation was the conditions of poisoning and that he has 10 hours to eliminate the other princes. Interesting. The only reason that I would say is that he is shown to have... I'm curious how they handle this one, right? Botobai is like, you're looking pale, which... to me is the assumption that like you look a bit sickly. You don't look 100% you. And so I'm curious how this was translated, how this was actually in Japanese, because to me this is like more confirmation that he was actually poisoned, because Botobai is like, yo brother, you are looking a bit sickly right now. So I'm curious how that looks in Japanese. Then again, right, he could only be poisoned if Hulkenberg confronted him. So, we'll see. Majestic says, also that's why the King's End was probably not visible to anyone, because he is so powerful, his aura may be... Yeah, right, that's what yes, I absolutely agree. Okay, chat, thank you all so much for hanging out with me for another wonderful chapter of Hunter x Hunter. I'm going to try and make these streams slightly earlier in anticipation, because on well, here, just in case dates may change, I will be, hopefully, if no dates have changed, I will be doing a podcast. It'll be very fun. I'm very excited. The Hunter Association, I should say it's the Hunter x Hunter Society, have invited me on. And so we are going to be talking about Hunter x Hunter. One of the chapters, we have the chapters kind of in. We have the chapters ready that I'm going to be on for. But obviously schedules may change, things may differ. So I don't want to confirm yes or no, but very excited. So I'm trying to pronounce everyone's names correctly. So I'm not a crazy embarrassment, okay? I know I have been pronouncing everyone's names incorrectly, but now that I have to be on a podcast, I gotta get the names correct. So I'm trying my best. But chat, thank you all so much for hanging by. Oh, one more thing. Majestic says, also, a king can use ends combined with Zetsu. That would be the ultimate mastery at some point. That is also very true. So I think there are a lot of ways that the king could hide his end, or just be so powerful that no one can detect his end. That I think it is safe to say that the real Wobble is aboard the ship. But thank you all so much for hanging out and chatting with me. I'll try not to make these videos too long. It's fun to catch up on chat and read your theories. But I will try not to make these videos as long as they are, but honestly, I just have a blast just reading chat and seeing all your theories and seeing what we can decipher from these bits of chapters that Togashi is blessing us with. So thank you all for watching. I will see you all next week for some more Hunter x Hunter. I still can't believe we get to say that. That's just incredible. Are you more Hunter x Hunter? Absolutely incredible. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for all watching. That doesn't even make any sense, but wonderful chat.